Have you ever wondered why so many seniors find life especially difficult once they reach 80? As we age, the changes in our bodies and our lives can sneak up on us little by little. Until one day, it feels as though everything is harder than it used to be. Reaching 80 is a milestone many of us once thought was far in the distance. Yet when it comes, it often brings challenges that few talk about openly. Many seniors look around and ask themselves, why does daily life feel so much heavier? Now that question is not only common but deeply human, and today we are going to explore the answers. In this video, we will look at 6 real reasons why most seniors struggle after 80. Each reason touches on a part of life that many of us can relate to, whether it's physical, emotional, or social. By understanding these struggles, we can find not only clarity, but also ways to approach them with strength and dignity. This is not about painting aging as hopeless. Quite the opposite. It is about shining light on the hidden factors that weigh us down, so that we can face them with wisdom and resilience. Stay with me until the end, because the final reason may surprise you. It is not something most people expect, yet it is often the most powerful challenge of all. And when you see it clearly, it might just change the way you understand aging and yourself forever. Now let's get started. Number 1. Sudden drop in appetite and weight. One of the lesser discussed reasons many seniors struggle after 80 is the unexpected change in appetite that often leads to unintentional weight loss. While in their 70s, many people still maintain a steady interest in food, something seems to shift once they cross into their 80s. Meals that once felt comforting no longer taste the same, and the desire to eat decreases almost overnight. This is not simply about being picky with food. It is connected to changes in the senses, slower digestion, and shifts in how the body processes nutrients at this age. For many, this sudden lack of appetite feels puzzling and worrisome. The challenge is that this decline in eating often causes muscle mass to disappear more quickly, which directly affects energy and independence. A senior who used to cook and enjoy meals may begin skipping them, leading to weakness and fatigue that make daily activities harder. The body becomes more fragile, and with less fuel, it cannot maintain the same strength it once did. This is a distinct challenge of life after 80, because the body's reserve is smaller, and the impact of reduced nutrition shows up more immediately. Take the example of Evelyn, who is 81. She used to enjoy Sunday dinners with her family, often having seconds without hesitation. But in the past year, she has noticed she gets full after only a few bites. Her clothes hang looser, and even climbing the stairs leaves her winded. Evelyn is not alone. Many older adults describe this exact shift once they reach their 80s. The difficulty is not just physical weakness, but also the frustration of knowing food no longer provides the pleasure and comfort it once did. This loss of appetite creates a ripple effect. Family members worry, trips to the doctor increase, and the senior may feel pressured to eat when the desire simply is not there. What makes this struggle particularly hard is the emotional weight attached to it. Sharing meals has always been a central part of social and family life. And when appetite fades, so does that connection. Seniors may quietly withdraw from gatherings because they feel embarrassed about eating so little. And that withdrawal adds to feelings of isolation. The truth is, after 80, the body's relationship with food changes in ways many do not expect. It is not about willpower or discipline. It is about biology shifting gears. Recognizing this unique struggle helps explain why so many seniors after 80 feel weaker, less energetic, and more vulnerable than they did just a decade before. Number 2. Increased sensitivity to medications. Another reason seniors often struggle after 80 is the body's heightened sensitivity to medications. In their 70s, many older adults can take common prescriptions with manageable side effects. But after crossing into their 80s, the same doses can suddenly cause dizziness, confusion, or extreme fatigue. This surprising change is tied to how the liver and kidneys slow down, altering the way drugs are processed. What once felt safe and routine becomes a new source of anxiety and physical strain. This sensitivity is more than an inconvenience. It can reshape daily life. Seniors may find themselves unsteady on their feet, experiencing brain fog, or needing more naps throughout the day simply because of their medications. It is not unusual for someone to feel like their world has shrunk, not from illness itself, but from the side effects of what is meant to treat it. The balance between health and harm becomes more fragile after 80. And adjusting to that reality can feel overwhelming. Consider someone like Frank, who is 83. For years, he took medication for blood pressure without much trouble. But recently, he began experiencing dizzy spells, so severe that he stopped walking to the corner store he used to visit daily. His doctor explained that his body now reacts differently, and even a minor adjustment in dosage requires careful monitoring. Frank admits the hardest part is the fear he never knows, when a simple pill will leave him too weak to get through the day. This new sensitivity also affects independence. Seniors may feel forced to rely more on caregivers or family, not because of their illness, but because of the unpredictable effects of their treatment. That loss of confidence in their own body creates hesitation, leading many to limit activities and social outings. In turn, this hesitation fuels a cycle of isolation and reduced quality of life. The struggle here is both physical and emotional. When you cannot trust how your body will react to the very medicine meant to help you, life feels less steady. It brings frustration and fear, and for many after 80, it is one of the clearest differences they notice compared to just a few years earlier. This is why medication management becomes such a pressing issue, because small pills suddenly carry consequences that ripple through every part of daily living. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, slower recovery from illness. Another reason many seniors struggle after 80 is the body's slower recovery from illness. In earlier years, a bout of the flu or a minor infection might have been a temporary setback handled with a few days of rest and some patience. But once you reach 80, those same health issues can linger for weeks or even months. What once felt like a small problem suddenly becomes a major disruption to daily life. This slower pace of healing is not simply an inconvenience. It can reshape how you live and how secure you feel in your own body. The immune system naturally weakens with age, and that means the body takes longer to fight off infections. A simple cold may sap energy for much longer than expected, and what starts as a minor cough can turn into something more serious. Seniors often describe feeling like every illness takes a bigger piece out of them than before, leaving them drained long after the symptoms have passed. This can cause a cycle of worry and fear where even small health issues feel threatening. Consider someone like Helen, who is 84. She recently had knee surgery to repair an old injury. 20 years ago, she bounced back from similar procedures, quickly returning to her activities in no time. But this time, the recovery felt endless. Physical therapy was slower, pain lasted longer, and simple exercises left her exhausted. It was not only the physical healing that weighed on her. It was the realization that her body no longer responded the way it once did. That change in healing speed brought a wave of discouragement, making her question whether she could continue living as independently as before. The slower recovery often affects confidence. Seniors may begin to avoid activities they love for fear of injury or illness, knowing how long it could take to bounce back. That hesitancy can shrink the world around them. Trips outside the home, visits with family, or even social gatherings may seem risky. The desire to protect oneself from a long, draining recovery can quietly lead to isolation. And with isolation comes loneliness, which in itself becomes another weight to carry. The struggle here is not just physical but emotional. When the body does not heal quickly, it can feel like life is slipping out of your control. The independence you have valued for decades feels fragile. Each illness or injury becomes a reminder of the body's limits, and those reminders add up over time, shaping the way seniors see themselves in their future. Recognizing this change is important because it helps seniors and their loved ones understand that patience, care, and compassion are needed more than ever. Number 4, financial strain. Another powerful reason seniors struggle after 80 is the growing weight of financial strain. For many older adults, income becomes fixed while expenses continue to rise. Pensions and savings that once seemed enough may no longer stretch as far, especially when unexpected medical bills appear. Even the cost of simple necessities like food, housing, and utilities feels heavier when there is less flexibility in the budget. What makes this struggle sharper is that seniors often feel they have fewer options to change their financial situation compared to when they were younger. This financial pressure is not just about numbers on a page. It affects daily peace of mind. Seniors who once lived comfortably may find themselves counting every dollar, worrying about whether they can afford both their medication and their groceries. That constant tension can chip away at confidence and dignity. It can also create a sense of dependence, as many older adults feel forced to lean on children or relatives for help. For people who have spent their whole lives working hard to provide for themselves, this reliance can feel discouraging, even if family is willing to help. Imagine Mary, who is 83. She worked as a school secretary for decades and managed to save modestly for retirement. For many years, she felt secure. But now, with the rising costs of her prescriptions and a few unexpected hospital visits, she finds her savings dwindling. Each month, she faces difficult choices. Does she replace the broken appliance, or does she hold off to pay for her upcoming doctor's appointment? Mary's situation reflects the reality for many seniors. Financial strain turns simple decisions into constant battles between needs. There is also the hidden burden of medical expenses. After 80, healthcare often becomes the largest cost, and it rarely gets smaller with time. Insurance may cover some parts, but co-pays, uncovered treatments, and specialized care can quickly erode savings. Seniors find themselves shocked by how much their health demands from their wallet, leaving less room for other essentials. And unlike younger years, there is little opportunity to rebuild income once it is gone. The stress of financial strain goes beyond the bank account. It weighs on the spirit, creating worry that can keep seniors awake at night. The fear of running out becomes more real, and this fear alone can limit how fully life is enjoyed. Some older adults stop traveling, stop socializing, or even stop eating well in order to save money, unintentionally harming their health and happiness. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5, loss of independence. One of the most difficult struggles seniors face after 80 is the gradual loss of independence. For most of life, independence is tied closely to dignity. Being able to make choices, handle responsibilities, and manage daily routines without relying on others. But as the body slows and limitations grow, the ability to care for oneself becomes more challenging. What used to be routine tasks like cooking a meal, driving to the store, or managing medications can suddenly require assistance. This shift is not only practical, but deeply emotional, because it touches on pride and self-worth. The loss of independence often arrives quietly. At first, it may be asking for help opening jars or lifting heavy objects. Later, it can become the inability to drive safely, leaving seniors dependent on family or neighbors for transportation. That reliance can make even simple outings feel like burdens to others, which discourages many from asking at all. This creates a cycle of staying home more often, leading to less activity, less interaction, and a greater sense of being confined. Over time, the walls of independence seem to close in, and life feels smaller. Consider Samuel, who is 86. For decades, he prided himself on being self-reliant, even fixing his own car well into his 70s. But now his eyesight has declined, and his doctor has advised him to stop driving. At first, Samuel tried to ignore the advice, but after a near accident, he reluctantly gave up his car keys. The decision left him frustrated and sad, because for him, driving was not just about transportation. It was about freedom. Without it, he feels less like the man he once was, and more like a burden on others when he needs a ride. This loss of independence is not just about what seniors can or cannot do. It affects the way they see themselves. Relying on others for daily needs can lead to feelings of guilt, helplessness, or even shame. Many resist help because they fear becoming a source of stress for their children or caregivers. Others accept help, but silently grieve the parts of their identity they feel slipping away. The reality is that the loss of independence is one of the most painful struggles of aging, because it reshapes both practical life and the inner sense of self. Still, it is important to remember that needing help does not mean losing value. Seniors who learn to accept assistance with grace often find that relationships with family grow deeper as care becomes a way of showing love. Yet, even with this perspective, the loss of independence remains a heavy challenge. And it is one of the clearest reasons why life after 80 can feel so difficult. Number 6. Emotional weight of aging. Perhaps the most profound struggle seniors face after 80 is the emotional weight that comes with aging itself. Physical challenges and financial concerns can be measured and explained, but the inner burden of confronting mortality, loneliness, and fading roles in family or society is harder to put into words. It is the quiet heaviness that lingers when the house feels too empty, or when familiar routines lose their meaning. After 80, many seniors find themselves reflecting not just on the life they have lived, but on what remains. And that reflection can bring both gratitude and sorrow. This emotional weight often shows up in subtle ways. Seniors may no longer feel as needed by their families, especially when children and grandchildren are busy with their own lives. The roles that once defined them as providers, caregivers, or leaders in their community begin to fade. For many, this loss of identity is deeply painful. Without a clear sense of purpose, days can feel long and nights even longer. The mind begins to wander to questions that are difficult to answer. Do I still matter, or what will my legacy be? These questions are not signs of weakness, but honest struggles that come with living longer than most people expect to. Think of Margaret, who is 82. She raised 4 children and spent years volunteering at her local church. For much of her life, she was surrounded by people who relied on her. But now, with her children grown and her health less reliable, she feels the silence in her home more deeply. Margaret admits that the hardest part of aging is not her aching joints, but the feeling that the world has moved on without her. Her story reflects a truth that many seniors quietly carry: the burden of wondering whether their presence is still as meaningful as it once was. The emotional weight of aging is also tied to the awareness of time. After 80, the horizon feels closer, and this awareness can stir both fear and acceptance. Some find peace in looking back on a life well lived, while others feel regret for opportunities missed. These emotions can shift day by day, bringing waves of sadness or moments of clarity. What makes this struggle especially heavy is that it often happens silently, without others realizing the depth of what a senior is feeling. Yet within this weight, there can also be resilience. Many seniors learn to embrace smaller joys: watching the sunrise, sharing a story with a friend, or hearing laughter from a grandchild. These moments remind them that value is not measured only by roles or accomplishments, but by presence and love. Still, the emotional weight of aging remains one of the greatest challenges after 80, shaping how seniors see themselves and how they face each day. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Final thoughts. As we close this video, take a moment to reflect on the 6 reasons we've explored together. Each one paints a picture of why life can feel more difficult after 80. From the weakening of the body to the shrinking of social ties and the heavy emotions that follow, these struggles are real. And if you see them in yourself, you are far from alone. In fact, recognizing them is the first step toward facing them with courage and understanding. Aging brings changes we cannot always control, but how we respond, whether with resilience, hope, or the willingness to lean on others, makes all the difference. This conversation is not meant to leave you discouraged. It is meant to remind you that your struggles do not erase your worth. Even in the face of declining strength, slower recovery, financial strain, or emotional weight, there is still value in your presence, wisdom, and experiences. Many seniors discover that these later years carry their own kind of richness. Not because life is easy, but because it demands a deeper appreciation for what remains. And that is something to be proud of. So now I ask you, what stood out to you the most? Which of these reasons do you see reflected in your own life or in the life of someone you love? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your reflections may be the encouragement someone else needs today. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.